an ancient pagan festival celebrating the beginning of winter and the darkest time of the year. Samhain, a brief moment in time when the veil between the living and the dead opens. Samhain, when the tortured, howling souls of the dead soar through the skies and the fetid, rotten corpses walk the earth. On October 28th, in Cleveland, Ohio, NWA presents Samhain, the most violent and deadly pay-per-view in National Wrestling Alliance history. Samhain, be there if you dare.
Hey guys, it's Maddie, and today we are interviewing the main character herself, Maddie.
Hello, Maddie.
Hello. Again.
So now that I stand here as world's heavyweight champion, I fully assume you're going to show me the respect and honor.
Probably not. Just because you got some yellow dye in your hair and a, what, blue contact? That's so 10 years ago.
No, this hair is natural. Struck by lightning, okay? The golden hue came from the gods, and this blue contact is not a contact, it's my eye color.
We know a box dye when we see one.
I have two different colored eyes because that means you have spiritual intuition, okay? So now I'm the champion. Now I'm on the show. Now you respect me. Do you want to go on a date?
No further questions.
I'm unbeatable at hinge. This doesn't make sense.
Well, what is up, you beautiful people? This is Gary.
Hey!
This is the NWA. It's the show celebrating the past, present, future, history, legacy, and tradition of the greatest pro wrestling entity of all time. Of course, we're talking about the National Wrestling Alliance. Joined as always by Kyle, Joe, and Danny Deals. What's up, fellas?
Absolutely nothing.
I like the new ditty we got going for the live is about to start.
Oh yeah, you like that?
I like that new ditty you got going.
Did you make that? Is that your own?
Did you make that?
Yeah, I did it on my drum machine and stuff.
I never knew you had those types of talents. That's fantastic. Yeah. Hey, look at the fun koozie I got going on right here. Yeah. Keeping my beverage cold. Look at that.
Yeah, how about that? How's that grab you?
One of these.
Yeah. It grabs me gently around the nipple area there.
My bottle does? Wow. I think that's defective.
If anything's
Gary, you don't have one
for the grab. No, I'm wearing one from our friends at the Alliance blog right now. So
they made a very nice donation to my my fiance's fundraiser at school. So thank you guys. So I appreciate you wearing that shirt, Gary.
Yeah. We love those guys. And we love you in the chat. It's good to see you. Good to see everybody. Dan Deals has a deal for you.
I do. Just for tonight. It might work tomorrow. It's for streamers, though. It's not for anybody else.
Oh, well, I put it through 9/12 here, but if it's
that's fine. It's just for the stream skis.
Yeah, just for you guys. 20% off right now in the shop. NationalWrestlingAlliance.com/shop. NWA Fam 911. That I hate the way I said that. That's anyway. Yeah,
I know they won't forget it.
Yeah.
Happy 9/11, everybody.
There we go.
Jesus. You know, like, how do you comfortably get into any of this without being super? And that's the problem. Well, that's not really the problem. The problem is that you're dealing with 4 guys that are just here to enjoy professional wrestling, to be here with you. And when we have to talk about tragedy, things get weird because, let's face it, we deal with it in our own way. So hopefully everybody is enjoying their day of remembrance. Let's get to professional wrestling. Great deal.
Just wait.
Saved it. Saved it.
Just wait for story time with Rush today.
Oh, Jesus. He's going to say he was on a plane.
No.
Do you not have any images, Gary?
It's not about that.
Some of the
22 years ago.
No,
I was walking the streets of New York City.
Not about that. But yeah.
Speaking of Rush Freeman, I got to be honest with you. Brady Pierce, killer instinct. I think the best thing he could have ever done. Bam. Get out of the spectaculars.
Right. Go back to the images.
Yeah.
Kyle's correct.
There you go. And I'll throw this code back
up. Way to be hyped, Gary. There you go.
There you go.
Hype them up, Garrison.
Yeah, well, look at that. I mean, these M95 shirts are as fresh could be. And we're not going to get sued because it's satire, right? Deals.
That MTV is not even a thing anymore.
Nobody's watched that channel in 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
To be completely honest, those 2 young ladies weren't even around.
They weren't
in this
even
world
alive
when MTV had that logo.
We are old.
No. Listen, my nickname for Missa Kate is Sporty Spice, and she had to Google it to see what that was.
Oh, wow.
So
that is impressive.
Yeah. Nobody cared, and it's parody, and it's not an identical rip, and you also could have not brought it up too. But also,
I was going to say we're fighting this as if literally this is a big thing that we have to argue about right now.
It's not.
I was just trying to make a joke. It
doesn't exist.
All Japan named 3 All Japan wrestlers right now: Kawada, Misawa, Kento Kobashi. I don't know modern AJPW.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm reading the chat. I'm reading the chat.
Okay. Who cares about All Japan? Look, show the
Axel Gonzalez. That MTV logo is not old.
Google that,
Thank you. I'm glad.
On his phone. You couldn't see it because we have this graphic up, but he was Googling.
I've seen people wearing MTV shirts out here in SoCal. It's always gives me a chuckle imagining they weren't born at all. Getting old. That is right, Wes. I agree for you. Look at that fisting T-shirt.
It's a good thing nobody cares about Southern California either. Yeah, look at that. That's the good. Knox Murdoch. That's pretty good. They got a banner bundle. What else we got up there?
Well, you got, the Southern. Do we have any more of the Southern 6 shirt?
I had to reorder them, so now there is. You might have to wait another extra week, but yes, I had to reorder them. They're all out. Unless you order 1 XL or 1 large, you'll have to wait maybe a week to get it.
Nice.
Because they're all gone. I had to reorder.
When Conti act confused, the new Knox and Murdoch shirt there has a big fist on it because they're just going to punch you in the face.
Yeah, there you go.
See? That's what I was talking about. You think I just make things for the sake of making them up? Come on, man.
Well, anyway, so you
Ricky Morton? Right. How about we just don't answer because that's all that guy's going to do is just ask obvious questions over and over.
I like it. Well, M95, former NWA World Women's Tag Team Champions, always in contention. Those 2 young ladies, they hit hard. They've got opportunity around every corner there, and it's just you never know. They could reclaim those from Pretty Empowered.
That could happen. Pretty Empowered doesn't seem to think anybody's going to step up, but we're going to find out soon enough. Or we're going to have a costume party if you watch social media there at last week's Power. That's what they're saying. So,
Gary, what are you going to dress up for Halloween? We got Samhain coming up. That's right, folks. Samhain on October 28th. It's going to be spooky. It's going to be dark. It's going to be creepy. It's going to be violent. It's going to be the National Wrestling Alliance, unlike anything you've ever seen before. And I got to be honest, I think maybe we should all wear costumes.
It's interesting. It's like this mix of feelings I have about this pay-per-view because on one hand, like our press release says stuff like spooktacular and everybody wants to have like a costume party, but also we keep expressing it is very violent. This is the most violent thing in the history of the National Wrestling Alliance.
Kyle, was that an October pay-per-view where you wore the big ringmaster gimmick?
I was already thinking about that when I started talking, and I said I never want to wear that again. It doesn't fit anymore anyway. That was When Our Shadows Fall, our first pay-per-view back from the pandemic, I believe.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. When
Never
was
mind.
that?
So you're not going to be a ringmaster.
You know what? Maybe I will be.
You still have that?
It doesn't fit anymore. It started falling apart last time I tried it on.
We could give it to Rick Michaels. He'll open it up a little bit for you.
Yes, Richard.
It's gone. It didn't make it. It didn't make it through the divorce.
You could be a vampire ringmaster.
Kyle, what are you doing?
Ringmaster and then the vampire teeth. Oh my god! Then you gotta like do all the announcements with the vampire teeth in.
Oh yeah.
Or you put some whiskers on, and you need a cat in a hat or something.
Kyle shaves his head. He could be like brother. You ever see the Salem's Lot movie? He could be like Mr. Parker.
Yeah.
I could be a Nosferatu. That's right.
Yeah. He could be evil Dracula. Ring announcer.
A lot of people from Georgia in the chat. That's cool.
Hey, I used to live in Atlanta, Georgia. Bam.
Country. He meant the.
How about that?
Oh, Georgia. Well, also, I'm glad that everything has been better for you guys since everything happened before.
Oh, please do tell.
The country of Georgia had a very contentious time at one juncture. You see, the problem with that area is ever since World War I, when everything fell apart and we broke up certain different countries. Anyway, moving on.
Okay, all right. Well, this show so far has been all over the place. This is.
I
don't know what I expected.
Too many carbs to be the ringmaster is right. I love deep fried food and carbohydrates. You nailed it.
Oh, Gabe's got a good idea. We could all do the Stooges, including Shemp.
I get to be Shemp. I'm the one no one likes.
You gotta be curly. You're bald.
How could you not?
Fuck, Kyle.
Shemp is like the bastard one where everybody's like, we didn't want Shemp. We wanted.
No, that's Curly Joe who came after.
Curly Joe.
I'll be Curly Joe then.
Curly Joe was the
yeah. Curly Joe was the shit.
Easily be the bald one. That's the one you should roll with. I don't know why that wouldn't be your go-to.
Does that make Gary Larry?
Yeah.
Yeah, referee Jesse Fields needs all of us to dress up as Ghostbusters. We could do that.
Gimmick.
He's got the car.
Gimmick, Jesse.
Yeah,
that's Matt Cardona's thing
I know,
too.
he does that now too, right?
He's a Ghostbuster.
Just that one time. Oh, he's busting ghosts because busting makes him feel good.
Yep.
Literally a lyric from one of the songs before anybody brings it up in the theme song for Ghostbusters, and I think Ghostbusters 1 or 2. At one point in time, he goes, "Busting makes me feel good."
I was not gonna question it. I know the song, so it's cool. Yeah.
Oh my God, is this true? Is Cosmic Joe Chronicles actually Curly Joe? In the chat, that would be amazing.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
He's got to be dead by now. He'd be 130 years old.
You never know.
Yeah, he'd be up there, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Norman.
Wow, hold on. Let me give you a quick thing. Norman, this is a recap show for the National Wrestling Alliance, but the problem is that several of us are moderately insane, and you're catching us the end of a workday, so we are kind of very loosey-goosey with this. We're going to talk about life, love, wrestling, the world of things. You never know what's going to happen, but if you're easily kind of offended by some things, I'm sorry to say, some of us, this guy, we get a little weird and we get a little outlandish. So speaking of which, Zicky Dice, NWA, he's back there. It's called a segue.
Yeah, he has a match on Power.
But Kyle, I'm going to need you to be on your best behavior. Same for you, chat, because we do have a special guest today, and I promise we will be respectful of his time. And he is waiting in the green room, so we've got to bring him in. So as long as Kyle is calm, I feel good about it.
I'm down, Kyle.
I'm sedated.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to bring him on. And here he is, the manager of champions, the manager of the World Tag Team Champions right now, Aron Stevens. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust the screen.
Yeah. There he is.
He deserves the full screen.
Yeah, he does.
The beauty is on duty, baby. Here we go. We are at the live chat. Thank you so much for having me. Joseph, it is a pleasure to see you as always. Gary, thank you for setting it up. We got the best pitchman in the game today. Danny Deals now on the commentator side. And I got to tell you, man, I'm impressed with what Danny Deals has going on. The man, he can sell anything. And you know what? He's selling the action in the ring. There is no one better. And, of course, Lyle, thank you once again. I see you dressed up for the occasion.
He did. You're looking pretty spiffy with that. That's a $5,000 haircut, guys.
And a $10,000 shirt that I know.
Right,
I know you didn't pay for it. I know you didn't pay for it.
But enough. Let's talk about Aron Stevens.
Yes, the genius.
Well, I didn't come here to talk about, I am not, despite what people will have you think, I am not a selfish person. I am someone, I care about the NWA. I care about all of you. I care about the fans. And for me to come on here and use this time to talk about myself, that's not anything that I would like to do. I mean, I'm a humanitarian. I have provided entertainment to a mass audience all over the world for many, many years. You know, and in the NWA, I dare to say I'm doing the best work of my career.
I would say it's hard to argue. You currently are the manager of Blunt Force Trauma. I can't say it quite as good as you, but I mean,
he rolls his honors.
NWA World Tag Team Champions. You're supposed to say that before you say Blunt Force Trauma, Gary.
Sorry, NWA World Tag Team Champions, Blunt Force Trauma. This is something Aron Stevens has been promising since day one, I think.
And it's happened.
Yeah, and there you go. Now it's become fact. These are the World Tag Team Champions. And
spoken to existence.
Yeah, and the most dominant tag team perhaps in the National Wrestling Alliance right now.
Who I do believe was cheated out of the Crockett Cup. If we go back and look at the footage. Now, I have sent a fax over to the office about that, Aaron. I still think we can reverse it.
A lot of red tape. A lot of red tape. And, you know, to be quite honest, with the way that things are handled on some levels, by the time we actually get resolution, it'll be time for the Crockett Cup again. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to go and we're going to win the Crockett Cup in 2024. We'll take it out the door, you know.
Whoa, Joe Namath style. Huh?
That's right. Now, with what Mr. Davidson was saying before I came on, I was in the green room. He was saying about, we talk about life, we talk about this, we talk about that. I would love to participate in a conversation with you fine gentlemen about this, because I'm honored to be here, truly.
Well, I have something to bring up here. You keep on saying that you had the Crockett Cup stolen away from you. However, you know, the two gentlemen that did win the Crockett Cup, Knox and Murdoch, the Wrecking Crew combination, these gentlemen they're not NWA World Tag Team Champions. So I guess the question is, would you rather have the accolade of winning that tournament with such renown, but have to sacrifice being tag team champions? Or are you happy having the tag team championships? I mean, you get the bragging rights right now. You've been calling yourself manager of champions for several months now, and here you are living up to your moniker. And I've said it before, I'm going to say it again right here. We all kind of do you a disservice, and sometimes it's easy to look at you as somebody to not take seriously. But again, even though you downplay it, I think there might be a lot of brilliance there, and you're just playing all of us, because here you are, tag team champions, manager of champions. There's no joke about it. BFT with you behind them, one of the most devastating forces in professional wrestling.
Well, here's the thing. You know, if and again, I did not come on here to talk about me, but if you're going to do it and ask that question, I'll give you an answer. But in terms of taking me seriously, look, my career speaks for itself. If you look at anything and you look at the spectrum of things I've done, I've wrestled for the world title multiple occasions. I've headlined pay-per-views. I've done this. I've done that. At the end of the day, big game is played smooth out of sight. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Why would I want to let anyone know what I'm doing? If I'm a threat, if I'm a true threat, why am I going to let you know I'm a threat? I'm going to get as close to you as I can and then take my shot, man. You know what I mean? That's how you do it. You got to be thinking ahead, right? Everyone today, they want to go out there with their chest puffed out and this and that. I'll wear the mask of a jester, but I have the dagger of the assassin underneath it. Believe that, brother. And let me tell you one other thing now about the World Tag Team titles, to your point. With the accolade of the Crockett Cup, and look, tag tournaments in our industry today are really kind of becoming a fashionable thing. The Crockett Cup is my opinion, the most prestigious of them all. It is the longest. It has the most history. And, you know, with what we're all doing right now, we are continuing that legacy. Now, one night, it's a great night, but it's one night. The World Tag Team Champions, you hang on to them as long as you can. And that, in my opinion, is why we focused on the World Tag Team titles. Now, Knox and Murdoch, hey, they were awarded the cup. I won't say they won it because, as Mr. Deal says, we were cheated. But BFT are the World Tag Team Champions, and Knox and Murdoch are two boys, one cup.
That's fair to
such
say.
an image. That is such an image.
Yeah, well, we've got images of them with that cup, and
in my head, Knox is way too happy to be two boys, one cup.
Yeah, you never know.
Aaron, I've got to ask you too. Let's because I do want to ask you about the tag team division, obviously, since that's going to be close to your heart right now. But another thing I wanted to ask you about, since you seem interested to talk about some of these things going on in the National Wrestling Alliance, is I know that you have a relationship with former World's Heavyweight Champion Tyrus, and he was defeated by another friend in your group that we can hear on the Wise Men podcast, EC3. Not only defeated Tyrus for the World's Heavyweight Championship, but with that ended the career or the in-ring career of Tyrus. How does a guy like you look at that particular situation, and just wanted your thoughts?
Well, again, that particular situation, it's indicative of pretty much the landscape of the NWA right now, what's going on. We got big things popping. We got big things stopping. Okay? It's a complete shakeup. The new era, we have EC3, whose accolades, whose resume, history speaks for itself. Tyrus, who, in my opinion, has been one of the most dominant champions in recent history. I mean, like him, hate him. But when he got in there, he laid some people out, no doubt. Hey, he made the executive decision. He stands by it. And as a man, he took it on the chin. EC got the win. And now, you know, Tyrus is he's not going to need his boots anymore, shall we say. And look, all careers come to an end. And I don't think that you can look back on the career of Tyrus and I'm talking about from when he first got in the wrestling industry and say that it wasn't really kind of a storybook career. Everything he went through to get into the business, to the struggles he went through in there. Of course, his highlight in WWE, feuding with myself, right? There's so many different things, but then to go away to have the success he has had on a really such a national scale, and then to come back and be able to not only win, because here's the thing about him, when he won the TV title, that was one of the titles he always wanted to win. And he told me this years before. And so that was a very, very special night. And then, but then to come back and win the world title and to have the run he had and to deal, you know, every time you're in the eye, right? Like people are they're going to be shooting arrows and bullets at you, right? And he withstood a lot of that. He went out on his shield. But again, today's a new day. Of course, my home now in Louisville, Kentucky. I went to OVW, which again, I know you guys are familiar with that promotion. But EC3 successfully defended the NWA title there. That, to me, is like, look, Tyrus had obligations, right? He laid some bodies out, but his defenses, I mean, he was able to defend it at the pay-per-view and everything, and that was about it. EC3 has gotten out there, and he's not stopping. I mean, he defended the title. Like, it was a couple days after winning it. He was right here in Louisville defending the title at OVW. He has kind of made the statement that he's going to be a traveling champion. He's going to be a fighting champion, and I think this is very, very similar to the model of the NWA back in the 80s, to where, you know, you're going to see that belt. And look, none of us are going to deny the facts, right? Number one, the fact that this camera angle is very flattering to me. Number two, the fact that Tyrus got more eyes on the NWA title than any other professional wrestling title in the United States of America. Good, bad, and different on his platform, on what he does on his, you know, his 9 to 5, so to speak. Now, whether they were wrestling fans or not, people saw it. They're aware of it. Tyrus was a very, very seen champion. EC3 is going to be a defending champion. EC3 is going to be someone who travels the world, who defends that title, and who is going to contribute to the legacy of the NWA by, you know, just putting in work, as we say on the street.
That's interesting perspective to have too. Yeah, the EC3 is going to make sure the title's seen, but his job is going to be a lot harder than Tyrus's. Tyrus had like a platform that EC3 does not have as far as that show that Tyrus has, and I mean, heck, he did a Super Bowl commercial for
in a real way.
Yeah, so going to be hard to top that. Another champion that we had that was a traveling champion who took their title all over the place was the World Women's Champion Camille. And talk about another big change in the new era. Kenzie Page is now the World Women's Champion after NWA 75. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Now, look, as far as that goes, and again, I'm going to do nothing but keep it real because that's my deal. But I think out of all the titles that were changed over this last 2 weeks here, this was the biggest upset. You know, BFT, La Rebellion. I mean, obviously, like BFT's a better, but look, La Rebellion, they defended those titles. You talk about, and I'm going to take, we're going to come back to this, but I want to take a second, and I'm going to give La Rebellion props. 2 years is a very long time to hold on to those belts. They defended them all over the world, every promotion, multiple countries. They need to get their props, and I'm just going to give it to them in a real way, and I just did. Now, Knox and Murdoch, BFT, it could go either way. Now, it's always going to go our way because that's what I do. You know, that's what I'm paid. That's how I make my money.
Right.
But as a fan, you can look at this and say, when you have Kenzie Page versus Camille, and if you look at the dominance of Camille, Lyle, was it 800 days?
813 days, Mr. Loaded Glove.
I mean, come on. How can any of us shake a stick at that? That is a very long time in this era, or in really any era, to hang on to a title. Certainly, Camille has been the most dominant women's champion in recent history. And I ain't just talking about the A. I'm talking about the whole industry from A to Z, you know, to even the E, if you know what I'm saying. But it's just really intriguing now with Kenzie Page. And look, I've always, you know, I try to watch everybody a little bit, right? I don't watch people too much because I just kind of stay focused on what I do. But, you know, Kenzie Page, obviously, and again, I'm talking to the Kenzie Page prior to winning the world title, definitely has something, has the skill, has that it factor, okay? People call it the it factor. I call it the ism. But not going to deny she has that. But to defeat Camille after 813 days, I mean, her stock, obviously, like she is no joke. And, you know, where Camille is like that bulldozer, it's like she will come straight at you. She is tough as nails. I mean, the match between her and Markova, really. I mean, and look,
right.
Let's just keep this honest in a real way. After that match, was she at 100%? I don't think she could have been. I honestly don't think she could have been.
Same could be said for Kenzie. I mean, Kenzie was in, you know, multiple matches over that weekend as well, including that huge match with Max the Impaler as well. So I feel like you're pretty even going in.
I mean, bingo. And you know what? You don't know, again, there's injuries, there's little nagging things. You know, sometimes, you know, when you're in there, God, you break your knuckle hitting someone, you break a finger, that takes away a quarter of your offense, if not more, right? Then like your wrist, right? In order to grab someone, and this is just this is the straight truth, Ruth. Like, to grab someone, you injure a wrist, your holds aren't going to be as effective. An ankle, a knee, there's all these little things, right? But to Joseph's point, yeah, like they both have been through wars, and at the end of the day, Kenzie Page came out on top, and I'm going to tell you something. I am a fan of Kenzie Page in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. I mean, and on the women's side of things, by the way, you got Pretty Empowered in general, just dominating that area. Not only does Kenzie have the World Women's Championship, now Pretty Empowered also has the World Women's Tag Team Championship. So
it's the pretty era. It's the pretty era. And let me tell you, it ain't just because of the girls. Look at this. This is the pretty era, man. It's like I said before, the beauty is on duty. And, you know, I think as far as the women go, with NWA, we are truly showcasing women the way they should be showcased, in the sense of we're not trying to put out in the public eye. And this is like, if now, Mr. Davidson, you said we're going to talk about life and things like that, so we can do that.
Whatever you want to talk about. You're our guest here, and we like to roll out the carpet. And if you have a subject you'd like to tackle, we are here to help you get your voice heard, sir.
Well, and I'm just here to help y'all. You know what I mean? So it's a synergistic situation here. So in my opinion, the NWA, how we present the women, it's interesting because we don't shove it down your face and say, oh, look at all we're doing for women as other companies have done in the past. And, oh, this is a revolution. It's this, it's that. No, we give the women the canvas. We give them the stage, and they speak for themselves. And that is testament to all the women here in NWA, where it is a strong, strong women's division, and they are shining on their own. They're not shining because of any other reason than they belong there. And they are an integral part of this era of the NWA, and it's just such an exciting thing to see.
I've said that same thing with like people online when they talk about bringing back the Empower pay-per-view, for instance, and maybe that'll happen someday. But I'm like, this, the women are just as much a part of every show as the men in the NWA right now. You've always got 2 to 3 women's matches happening. They're top-notch their talent in the ring is unparalleled. I think we have the best women's division in professional wrestling right now. So I think they're just on an equal level. So you don't even need like a separate thing to showcase them.
Yeah. And the thing about that, right, with Empowered, I think the genius of Empowered, it was done so the world could see the talent that, that you're going to see as far as women go in the NWA. We essentially will get familiar with it. And then what that did, that acted as kind of a catalyst to get eyes. And now it's just like, it's business as usual. They are, again, woven into the fabric more so than ever in the 75 and 2-week history of this company.
How do you feel? Sorry to change subjects so drastically or quickly.
I'm a very smart man. I can talk about a lot of different things, man.
Well, I was listening to you talk here, and I was thinking about you being a manager right now and just your abilities just even outside the ring. And I always see right now, I was thinking about just because of things online I'm seeing, and a lot of people are always trying to figure out who is Aron Stevens right now? Like, is he Bobby the Braid Heenan? Is he, the Grand Wizard? Is he like whoever else? And I mean, does that ever bother you? Do you, I mean, obviously, you respect those guys, but Aron Stevens is Aron Stevens, in my opinion.
No, exactly. And I think right now, I think I should change my name to Easy A, because if anything else, what I do, I make look easy, right? And that's that's testament to me. But we're not here to talk about me. I'm here to answer your questions, which just so happen to be about me. So here it is. When people compare me to this person, that person, I don't care, because at the end of the day, like art. And I believe pro wrestling to be an art in its purest form. I ain't talking about a bunch of trained, mammals that can go out there and rehearse different things. I mean, look, you can train a chicken to play the piano. Right? Straight up. I've seen it on the Golden Girls multiple times. And
I believe you.
The thing is with me where, and look, Lyle will attest to this.
It's not my name.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Davidson. I apologize. I've had a long week.
You're the reason I drink.
Well, wait a minute. If you're intoxicated, how do you know that's not your name? We don't know how much you've had.
That's a good point.
He's probably high too.
Yeah.
You know what? Hey, you can do that, but I can assure you, I am as pure as the driven snow. I am clean and pristine because I got to have my mind right and my game tight. But the ultimate, in terms of like what people will see when they see me, I mean, I will draw inspiration from other people. But like, if you look at me now, like the Bobby Heenan comparisons have been nothing but flattering because, look, and I am very much I whatever you may think of this man, a lot of my psychology and a lot of how I approach this stems from Jim Cornette. And Jim Cornette will say that Heenan is the greatest of all time. So when anyone compares me to him, there is no more flattering compliment or comparison than that, because I haven't been managing a very long time, and for even to be like people don't compare any other manager in the sport to him, right? I mean, I'm just because I don't pay attention to
true.
any other promotion, and if people are already having that conversation with me, I would say it's humbling. But then I look at myself and I say, why not? Why wouldn't I be compared? But in all seriousness, like with comparisons to anyone, I will draw inspiration, and then again, as Mr. Davidson will attest to, like a lot of my stuff, like I don't plan. I don't go out there. What a beautiful dog. Who is that, Mr. Deals?
That's Bubby.
Oh,
hello, Bubby. Oh, what a beautiful boy. Hi, Bubby. Hi, pal. But I don't rehearse. I may have like some idea of where I'd like to go, but in my opinion, and this is what's missing in the wrestling business today, if I'm being completely honest, and we see it on all levels, there is no room to let the magic happen. Mr. Davidson, you've worked in close proximity with me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Constantly, yes. So, I never know what you're going to say or what you're going to do, and every time I'm with you, I definitely am just on my toes reacting.
But the thing is, I react to you too.
Yes, and that's integral because let's face it, you and I are two human beings trying to have a conversation at that desk. I'm trying to get answers. You're trying to throw whatever narrative you've got at me. Again, you're manager of champions. No,
even if you have to go back to journalism school, but yeah,
sure. I never went to college. I get it. I'm not great at what I do, but still, the two of us together, at least I hope, makes for an entertaining dynamic. And some people get the answers that they're looking for, and you leave feeling that you got to say your piece, and I leave knowing I got paid to hold a microphone next to you.
Yeah, and but think about that, right? Like there's another element in terms of the totality of the industry, right? Whether you're on commentary like Joseph and Danny D, right? Like if you plan every single thing out, you're going to take away those genuine moments. That is what causes people to really emotionally invest in the product, right? I mean, that's the thing to where, like, look, you do what you do, how you do it, when you do it, and who you do it with. But when you're out there and that red light's on and you hear the crowd and it's for real, as they say, you just have to, in my opinion, have enough respect for the industry and for the people that did it before you. And I'm talking about the real ones, right? To go out there and give the people the best show you possibly can. And at times that may mean, hell, let's have a battle plan. You know, look, BFT, we have a battle plan. When we go into battle, we know, like, this is how we're going to execute. We're going to get the guy in a corner. Like, the goal is to cut the ring in half, to isolate and annihilate. That's what BFT does. Sometimes things go awry, right? But you must adjust, you know, or you're going to bust. And that's what's happening. That's what, in my opinion, the magic of pro wrestling is the stuff you can't plan. Austin 316. The guy sold more T-shirts and just came up with it on the spot, right? That kind of stuff. And if you are an NWA fan, and I constantly get asked, like, what's going on with this? What's going on? Like what makes NWA different? Like that. Because there is more room for the magic to happen on every single level, you know, from commentary to in the ring to outside the ring to the interview desk than any other company, because we have that freedom and it's truly a blessing. It's the biggest blessing since ranch dressing, in my opinion.
Well, look at our social medias. You were recently featured on there with Kyle had the mic too close to your mouth, I think, and so
they tell me my ear to hold it up close. I'm sorry,
and I don't know,
and block my face. Have you seen this jawline?
It's right there.
Oh, I've seen it. It's right there. Yeah,
money right there. That's the money right there. Come on, Kyle.
Mr.
I don't have money.
Exactly.
Eric Gale in the chat brought up a really good question. Yeah. I know you've had this 100 times probably in interviews where people ask you if you're willing to manage someone else or a single star or something like that. But Eric actually in the chat is talking about Father James Mitchell right now having a monopoly over with like women's television champion Max the Impaler, asking, could you see yourself managing a female talent in that division?
See, I don't, as a manager, I don't put labels on what I'd like to do, who I'd like to manage. The thing is, if someone's got the talent, I'll do what I got to do. You know, once we come to an agreement and we have that contract, if I feel someone has got the talent and they're a good fit, well, brother, that's it. You know, here's the thing. Not everyone would actually fit with me. Not everyone would fit with my style. And by fit with me and my style, I mean, you know, the instruction, the having to be on the same page, going into business for yourself. A lot of people do that. A lot of people get bit, right? With BFT, the thing about BFT is we are a 3-man unit. It's like Camelot. See, people look at it and they, oh, you're the manager. You must be the boss. No, 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 no. We are the knights of the round table. We look each other in the eye. We talk to each other. We say, what is the best course of action to take? And once that is decided on, we put everything we have into it and we go forward as a unit. And managing a singles competitor, it's no different. You know, you're the horsepower in this machine. I'm the one that's steering the ship in terms of the long-term trajectory. But guess what? Without horsepower, ship ain't going nowhere. And without getting steered, you're just going to run off a cliff. So that's why you have to have the balance. And again, some talent I would love to do business with. Other talent, you know, and I'm just going to be very honest with you. Some of the talent is currently in the NWA. Some of it is no longer in the NWA. But and here's just the cold, hard reality of it. Some people can't get it, never had it, don't know where to find it. And that's the truth, Ruth.
Aaron, I want to ask you about this because, you know, we've got quite a few managers in the National Wrestling Alliance.
Yes.
And one of them happens to be hosting our next pay-per-view, Sawin, out of Cleveland, Ohio. What are your thoughts on the Sinister Minister being named the Master of Ceremonies for
Jimmy Mitchell?
Such a violent pay-per-view.
But I have always enjoyed an extremely pleasant, more than cordial relationship with Mr. Mitchell. He is someone who has been in the industry a very long time. When I first got into managing, we had a lovely conversation, you know, gave me some advice on the do's and don'ts, the ins and outs of the game. And look, for this kind of a pay-per-view, and I'm going to say this, I love the commercials for it. It reminded me of very much like early to mid-90s WCW kind of, but obviously in an updated way. And there was something, and again, I'm going to use a word that a lot of you turkeys will misconstrue, so I'm going to have to explain myself, but there was something very romantic about the commercial in the sense of, like, it kind of encapsulated, in my opinion, like the soul of the NWA. Like, all right, we have a pay-per-view coming up. It's around Halloween. You know, we're going to do it right. You know, we're not going to have my beautiful self out there trying to sell hardcore stuff, right? No. Sawin, or however you call it. Look, that was the right man for the job. Yeah, it's
you're a pro. You got it.
That's it. Right man for the job. And hey, you know what? I believe our pay-per-view will sell even better because of him, because of what he's done and his ability to draw people in, because he has it.
Well,
so Garrett, I hate to cut you off here, but Aaron, what's your costume going to be? I mean, we got just a few weeks out from this. I mean,
don't dress like Flash Gordon, because if you notice, Jimmy Mitchell kind of looks like Ming the Merciless.
Exactly. You don't want to, Aaron.
Well, you know, it's funny you mention that. I have never been one for Halloween costumes. I mean, it's not my style. It is not my style to dress up as something I'm not. And I'm just a very real person, and I just kind of present myself in a real way. And you know what? Let people dress up in Halloween costumes and all that stuff, but you know, I'm just going to do me. You know what I mean?
I have a question. You said Knights of the Round Table. So would that make you Arthur, King of the Britons, or Merlin?
Well, you know what? I do bring the magic, but I am kind of a bit of a. May I ask what you're clapping for?
Yeah.
I really pop for I Do Bring the Magic. It just got me at the right moment.
I think the edibles are kicking in for Kyle.
They probably are. But no, otherwise, Aaron, as always, really is just you got away with words, and I don't know what literature you're reading as of yet. So this whole thing with you being a knight or whatever is interesting. But again, I think you're amazing, and I just want to compliment you. And I'm sorry that I clapped for you saying something entertaining.
Now, I don't appreciate. This is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of stuff, right? Like I have given myself, and I'm trying to be a professional. And I was about to go into a dissertation on Arthurian legend, which I went to school. I took a class in it. Okay, class with flying colors, by the way, brother.
Oh,
and look, you can clap. I just asked you why you're clapping, so I could perhaps elaborate on it, and then you just trying to sling shade in my general direction. But luckily, you hit with that deflection. So,
I got no shade to sling. I'm sorry if you took it that way.
Might have to get
swing is shadeless.
Might have to get the holy hand grenade out.
Now you're talking. The holy hand grenade of Antioch.
That's right. 3
shall be the number of the counting, and the number of the counting shall be 3. 1, 2, 5. That's it, brother. I'm with it. I'm with it.
I don't know if you guys are just playing off of one another or if this is real what you're talking about. Holy hand grenade?
Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Have you ever seen it?
Oh, I've only seen it once, gentlemen. I'm a failure.
For somebody who eats as much edibles as you do, I'm shocked at that.
I'm a Kids in the Hall fan. I like, The State, let's see, Human Giant, things like that. Monty Python. I'm old, but I'm not that old.
Nothing from America. Just
yeah.
Comedy.
Kids in the Hall are Canadian.
It was just, I just missed it generationally. I was a Mel Brooks fan. For parody, Mel Brooks was my guy.
Yeah, Mel Brooks is the go.
That was around the same time. Look, I mean, the thing is, they're great.
Yeah.
To me, if you want to be good at anything, you got to go back and you got to study the greats. I'm sure Joseph, when he's doing commentary, he studies Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan, Jesse Ventura and Vince, JR, The King, Gordon Soley, right? And I'm sure you've done that too, right, Kyle?
No, you're absolutely correct. Gene Okerlund and everybody else, anybody who when I became a broadcaster too, I was like, let me see how these other individuals, I steal most of my shit from Joey Styles. I'm not going to lie.
No,
so
that's
if you're going to be a wizard, you got to study Tim.
An enchanter. Tim the Enchanter.
You make a Scotch kid.
There are some that call me Tim.
Tim?
But but the thing is, and going back to it, Monty Python, again, just was one of the all-time greats, and again, the dry sense of humor. But it's funny you mentioned Kids in the Hall. I was a Kids in the Hall fan, and I was a State fan too. The State should have had a bigger run, in my opinion.
Well, they left. They went to CBS because they thought they could make it on mainstream, or was it ABC? They had the 1 hour special because of no promotion. And now, of course, all sorts of shows. Viva La Variety, they were on there. They had Reno 911. They've got the movies. The lead basically became the lead of the State. Patrick Lennon ended up having a very successful writing career with a number of the cast. Where they like Night in the Museum and all those movies? They wrote those.
Nice.
Randomly, they have all these things that they do punch up or stuff. So you never know. Much like I'm a failed wrestler who became a broadcaster. You guys never know. Keep on doing what you like. And at some point in time, you might tangentially be very successful at a thing doing somewhat what you want to do.
7:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just mark this. Kyle Davis taught me something. I learned something from him.
That deserves a clap.
Who's on edibles now?
Nice job, Kyle.
I got to say, I mean, it took Aron Stevens jumping on this show, but he got Kyle Davis to be inspirational.
I love Aron. Every day I get to hang out with him. He is one of the most brilliant people in professional wrestling. He's entertaining to no end. And I've even told this story before. I don't know if we could say it right now. I used to work for Ring of Honor back in the day, and I had a lot of friends that ended up joining FCW. And I remember I went to a show because I wanted to go see Seth and Claudio. And you were at a show has a previous experience of yourself as Damian Sandow, and you did a autograph signing, and you came out, you looked at the line, criticized everybody for not being able to be in a proper line, how disappointed you were. You will be back later on tonight to do a proper autograph signing if they can get their acts together. You literally left. Nobody got a signature. You came back a little while after, complimented everybody on their line, started doing autographs, and then you were disappointed by the pen that they gave you, and then took a step away again. Like, you just kept on doing this, and everybody, they were there for it. And I was watching it from afar, and I went, no matter what, if you're not appreciating that this human being is this into this right now, you've missed the entire point, and I like that I get to witness this from afar. Because it's one of those moments that it was long form, so you would never just be able to sit down and see it on something. But to see you in person living your existence like you were, very much I appreciated throughout the entire program.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And you know what, it goes back to what we were saying before with like those moments of magic, right? When when anyone pays to see me or wrestling in general, right? Because like we're all on the same team, and fans pay to see us collectively as a team. And it is up to us as individuals to some degree, get them to believe in a world full of dirt sheets of people wanting to know what goes on behind the scenes. And God, it's so intricate now, right? And it's so deep to where like on the scale, it's almost like the internet buzz and everything is it's affecting the core of our industry, right? Now, to me, right, I'm a traditionalist and it sucks, even though I do think it does to a degree, but it's also the way our society has evolved, right? I'd much rather have the internet than not have the internet. And if I have to deal with a few marks that think they know more than they do at work, that's fine, right? So like it's a good thing. But going back to it, if anyone pays to see us, it's our job to get them to believe. And to some degree, we owe that to them. And I haven't gotten hot too much. Like I've never really gotten that upset. Well, I know at NWA, I'll say that. Like I haven't had one of my flip outs, and that's good because I'm in therapy and everything for that too, and it's wonderful. But I'm passionate about this, and I truly believe that, and a lot of people will admit, and you know what? For all the dirt sheets out there, here's a little tidbit. I have a reputation of being a very lighthearted and jovial person in the locker room. Do I not?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'd say you're a joker.
I'm not like one of these hard asses or anything like that. But the difference is the reason and it is for a very specific reason. And I've actually never told anyone this before. So this is just because we're a part of the NWA fam. Here we go. Because the reason I take that approach is because when I go through that curtain, every single bit of everything I am goes into that performance. And that includes if I'm in the hallway and a fan sees me or whatever, like the hotel lobby, like every single fiber of my being goes into the performance. So like when the reason we never rehearse is because I don't know what I'm going to say. Or when I was wrestling, I mean, we'll have, whatever, but like, hey, guess what? When we're out there, stuff happens, and we owe it to the fans to give it to them. So as kind of like lighthearted as I may seem behind the scenes, like if anyone's worked with me, like they'll tell you, like it's still a good time, but it's also very, very serious because I'm not out there trying to be a mark and get Instagram likes. I'm out there trying to put asses in seats and get people to pay money the next time we're in town, as are a lot of people in that company. And that's my kind of, that's my balance, I guess. So yeah, there you got it. I'm not sure how we get on the subject, but we did. And I hope it was somewhat informative.
It's probably my fault. I tend to derail us all the time.
You got to stop being down on yourself, Kyle. Like, all right, now what is with this self-deprecation? Can we talk about this? If you guys got other business to attend to, kick me out. I don't want to. Let's talk about this.
Listen, we all know people that think they're the greatest thing on earth, and they rub us the wrong way. And I've very much being in an industry and wrestling, I'm surrounded by a bunch of alphas, and I've never been an alpha. So I think it's a way of self-defense where if I beat you to the punch about my shortcomings, there's no way you could bring me down about it. It's a real dark way of coping with things. But hey, folks, National Wrestling Alliance, we got a big pay-per-view coming up. NWA Samhain on October 28th. Change of the subject.
No. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to give you a bit of advice. I'm going to break you off something proper, show you what time it is. And this is the straight truth, Ruth. I understand what you're saying, right? I completely understand what you're saying. But first of all, I hate the term alpha. I did a movie with a guy who had alpha male tattooed on him.
Ooh.
Right? And this dude, is trying to come talk to me and this and that, and he was just a complete putz. I mean, he just, like, come on, man. If you have to call yourself an alpha male,
you're probably not.
Right. And past that, it's a descriptive term for whatever. But the thing is, you just got to be you, right? Kyle. I
am me every day. That's part of the problem.
All you have to do is be the best Lyle you can be, and be it authentically, and then won't no one say anything to you.
Best right? Lyle Davidson ever.
We give each other stuff all the time, right? Look, Joe and I enjoy an extremely, extremely good professional relationship, as on commentating, and just Joe's Joe, I'm me. And it's equal, and it's the same thing with you and I. Did I not text you and say thank you? Because without you, my promos don't work. And
you did, and I appreciate that.
All you other turkeys out there on Instagram or StreamYard, wherever we're at, all you got to do is be you. No matter what, if you can just be your authentic self, who cares? Because if anyone has any true malice or like slinging shade at you, well, you know what? They got their own problems. Right? If you don't give anyone a reason, look, people are different heights, people have different body types, people, and it's all good. But you know what? If you do you the best you can, can't no one mess with that, man.
I like that. This is a positive, self-affirming episode of NWA programming, folks. If it's your first time, thank you for joining us. We do this, like I said at the beginning. One of the guys in the chat was like, what the hell is this thing about? You're getting a good example. So thank you for being a part of the perfect encapsulation of what we do on Monday nights. It's a mix of everything that's going on and a mix of the real human beings that you get to experience on a daily basis. I think that's important because a lot of people in life kind of want to aspire to be something, and it helps them when they see people that maybe are in a position they wish they could be in, go like, oh shit, those are real people too. It's kind of nice, I think. But regardless, let's promote some shit. Let's get back on track.
Well, we can preview Power tomorrow, and let's do it with Aaron while he's here.
I like that idea because Aaron
and Gary's
going to be on tomorrow's Power.
No, I'm sorry. I was going to say,
alert.
The chat is all about Aaron needs to be on this show more often. So you've come in and you've won everybody over now. So
because he's great.
The reason I asked Aaron was because last week people were
want any other
Aaron.
guest to be on.
Yeah, they know my damage already. They're like, give me new damage.
We just need some new voices here. Samantha does great. Pollo does great. Like everybody who comes in, like we got to get some fresh blood.
You tell us, chat. You tell us who you want to be on here, and we will sub them out for me every other week.
Yeah, well, we got Aaron. That's why we got Aaron. They asked for him. All right, let's talk about Power. The first episode of the new era was amazing, and for a lot of different reasons. We got a whole new episode coming out tomorrow night, 6:05, and this episode's going to be huge again because we got a lot of great matchups. How about this one? You want to talk about two hosses going at it? AJ Kazana versus Jax Dave. These are two big boys.
Whoa, brother.
A lot of beef.
A lot of beef in the ring there.
Come on, you got to pull for Jax on this one. Former world champion, former national champion, former world tag champion.
I believe he might even have been a Central States champion, but I'm not.
He also is. AJ Kazana, in his own right, former United States tag team champ. But I mean, come on, it's the Dane event, baby.
Yeah, I'm going.
I like that they had to specify heavyweight match on this graphic.
No shit.
Yeah, you should have put no shit underneath it.
All right. Well, it is thought that Tom Latimer is cashing in that TV title. We're waiting on confirmation, which we may get tomorrow when EC3
be a fool if he didn't.
addresses Tom Latimer.
I'm sorry, did you say he'd be cool if he didn't?
He'd be a fool if he didn't.
Oh, I was like,
the lucky seven, dog.
I was like, the cool moves not to cash in your championship opportunity. All right.
Well, I mean, I think it's all but assumed that's what's going to happen, because another match that is going to happen is Dak Draper
Look
versus
at that.
Dax the Gibb versus.
There's
Ziggler
your answer right there, baby.
There it is. Four-way. Winner of this match goes up against the winner of another four-way. And those two winners will face off for the TV title.
You think there's any chance that old Gags and Frankenberry tag up to take out Zicky?
No, they got heat, brother. No, their heat's too hot.
Yeah, their heat's too hot.
You know,
not going to happen.
There's
also
on the line.
There's very few people in life that get the fan adulation. Children love Gags the Gimp. You know, literally everywhere I go, people are buying stickers. They're buying the little Gags toys.
Like
they're actually making a choking noise, and they pretend they can't talk. And then they just also are really into really dominant and just like weird things. Gags the Gimp, folks, probably one of the most fascinating sociological experiments I've ever seen. And I have a feeling that could continue here with the TV championship.
Children are into weird things.
Aaron, see, there you go right there. That's Kyle using what he learned from Lee Marshall. Everyone's talking about it.
Can we have a power party? We're here at the power party. I'm just going to call in from random frat houses and claim I'm at a power party.
We should do
like the
those
Nitro parties. Oh my God!
Yes,
yeah.
Like, it was Lee Marshall on the road, and they had the little map with like the car things. Like Lee Marshall here in Knoxville, Tennessee, at the local pavilion. Folks, everybody's screaming here in the background. You can hear me over the music here. They're loving Nitro, and you can love Nitro too. Show us your party. Go to this, and then give you a phone number that you could call if you were a frat that want to have a party. That stuff was amazing.
I like that idea. We'll send Kyle and Gags the Gibb to a bunch of frat houses for parties.
Frat houses, yeah, or other places we could. I'm not touching that one.
Yeah. All right. Who else is on the show, Gary? I know that's not it.
Well, there's a junior heavyweight tag team match. Look at this. They were just opponents at NWA 75, but now Homicide and Joe Alonzo are going to be teaming up to take on the new NWA junior heavyweight champion, Colby Carino, and Koa Laxamana.
I swear to God, I just did voiceover for this, so it's fresh in my mind.
Jamie Stanley's only on the left. Shouldn't he be on the left and the right?
Yeah, he should be with Colby as well, right?
You know, where does his alliance lie? We're going to find out because he is managing both Joe Alonzo and Colby Carino.
I can't figure out why he wouldn't be.
I don't think you could clone a Jamie Stanley because it's like a gremlin. Bad things will happen.
If anybody's in those discussions, it would be the two of you, Joe and Kyle. So I don't know. Also, one thing we didn't mention yet is that the special guest referee is Ricky Morton.
Yeah, how did Richard become the guest referee? And you got
from what I'm told is Ricky Morton was politicking using that Southern Six charm he has, and he was.
Morton.
I don't know what I said, brother, but I'm going to keep on going. Morton. Ricky Morton. Yeah, they sound the same to me. I don't have a good ear for these things.
You're going to learn a lot today, Kyle.
I'm going to be educated by the end of this, and I'm still going to be dumb. That's how far behind I already am.
You're going to be Kyle. You're going to be the best Kyle you can be.
Ricky Morton kind of politics from what I've been told, and he said because of my interactions with Koa Laxamana and colleagues, he said I really want to make sure that I could be a part of this match because I think they've made this personal, and I think Ricky just wants to show that he's going to be a viable referee in the situation and not straight down the middle, Daddy. Straight down the middle.
Well, according to Smothers, his name is Rock and Roll Rigor Mortis, so I think everybody's wrong here.
Well, in the main event of NWA Power, we're going to see for the first time in the ring since her big win, Kenzie Page, the World Women's Champion. Not title match, but it's going to be taking on Samantha Starr. So huge implications for Samantha Starr. Huge implications for Kenzie Page, I would say, too, because you want to come out strong. After
Go to the deals line for this one. I'd take Kenzie plus the points over Sammy Starr.
I've got a question for Aron Stevens, since he's been so successful and he's the manager of champions. Is there ever a situation or I should say, let me put it this way. I can see both sides. It's a non-title match. As a champion, why would you ever want a title match compared to a non-title match? I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want to lose that belt at some point in time, or is there a certain pride involved where you could tell a lot by a person if they want it to be a title match?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you can tell a lot by a person, but if that person's the champion, their thoughts of what people think about them, that shouldn't be an issue. Now, look, as a manager, yes, I want every non-title match I can get because simply put, it stacks the odds in the champion's favor. Now, for the flip side, to defend the title, like what EC3 is doing, he is able to carve out far more of a reputation for himself. Where, you know, when you are in a non-title match, you're not defending the title. But if you lose, guess what? You now are going to most likely have to be in the ring with the same person that beat you. So there is a downside to it. And again, I've seen a lot of stuff happen in non-title matches that has ultimately caused the champion to lose the title. So again, Kenzie, I would just play this one, you know, like she's been playing it. Play it cool, play it calm, strike when you can, do what you can, and win however you can.
So I shouldn't read into the fact that it's a non-title match that she might be not trying to be the most defendingness of champions.
Yeah, Sam has got to earn a title shot in the first.
There you go.
That's how you go. That's the classic NWA. You got to get a non-title match. If you win, maybe you get a title match. You know?
That's right.
That's totally fair.
I mean, Ron Garvin would put the national title on the line every time Chick Donovan was across from him. He had to win the match before he could get the title match. Right, Aaron?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And now you said I was on the show.
Yeah, Gary.
Did I say that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I said that.
It was me. It was me. I'm drinking.
Oh,
Aaron should be on every show.
it was Lyle.
False advertising by Jack Daniels, ladies and gentlemen.
There is no graphic for Aron Stevens, I will say that. But it is possible that, I mean, lots of people show up.
I have a lot
of
of names scheduled on interviews over the next several months, folks, and they bleed together. I'm probably wrong. Or I'm right, but I'm probably
Tune in and find out, ladies and gentlemen.
You never know, because I've not been on the graphics before, and I've aired, I've talked, but either way, I mean, although I probably have the most symmetrical face in the history of pro wrestling, whoever you put on that poster, and I think fans are seeing this more and more, it really is, you are seeing wrestling the way it was meant to be. Again, titles being defended. We have a new era. It's a new day. If you haven't seen the show, you definitely need to check it out. And that's there's a lot of positive things, and I am very, very happy to be a part of NWA and be a part of this wonderful family with all of you.
Yeah, and Triple G and Joey G are on the call. So if you weren't going to watch already, I mean, you know.
I have a question in the chat here that's actually a great question.
Okay.
You've got the tag team champions. You got the world championship. Who would you take on our roster? Would you bring somebody in externally to go after the gold as your world champion, as the Manor of Champions?
I don't see that.
That's a very, very good question.
It might have been farther up the chat, but I might be behind.
No,
right.
but I dig that question. There are a lot of people out there. PJ Black, Wes Briscoe. Think about that. Right? Think about that. There's a lot of people out there. And again, I've named you two. But,
Gary Horn?
Yeah,
Gary could be the sleeper. Oh, and by the way, speaking of sleeper, when we were going over that, and I don't want to take up all your time. I know you guys are busy too, but when the light turns on, I get going. The sleeper in the whole company is the junior heavyweight division.
Agree.
I mean, the women are amazing. Our heavyweight division is amazing. The tag team division, we have the best tag team division in the industry right now.
Right? Come on.
Like, straight up. Like no one's talking about that. Well, people are now. They're starting to talk about it. Look at the teams we have, where anyone can be the. I mean, it's pretty serious, man. But the junior heavyweight division, look, Colby Carino, that kid, he just got it. Terry Morton, look at the reign he had. You know, Koa, who look very, very impressive. Physique really impressed me.
Alex Taylor,
he did in the ring, and Alex Taylor, who has been with the company quite a while, that kid is 3 seconds away from putting himself on the map, and I've said it all the time.
What about Joe Alonzo, who's something clicked in his brain at NWA 75? And he turned his feud into Homicide into a match that was just kind of, it just was made, and then he made it into like a must-see match at that show.
You got to put him in there because he's got balls of steel. Talk that kind of trash to Homicide.
Absolutely,
Jesus
absolutely.
Christ.
Bringing up his government name. Oof.
No, but the thing is with Joe, look, if Joe gets seasoned and if Joe doesn't do anything stupid and he listens to the right people, he's going to be a star. And there are people that would argue he already is a star. And to a degree, that's true. Like, I will say that, but I'm talking big star. I'm talking like close to my level.
Whoa.
Well, that is high.
Damn.
I mean, you've been to the top and looked both ways.
But the same can be said for Kerry Morton. The same can be said for Colby Carino. The same can be said for a lot of people. And what I think is really cool about NWA, where we truly do create, like it is a place where creation happens, where these characters come alive, and just they kind of embark on their odyssey, and it's a really cool thing to watch. It's a really cool thing to be a part of.
We were just literally talking about Eli Drake and Ricky Starks the other day. Earlier today, we were talking about that. Two names in each of the respective companies that are becoming two of the biggest stars there. And they were power standstills before the pandemic hit. So you're absolutely correct. We are a place to come to experiment, find out who you are, and then develop that so that fans can make a connection with you. And then from that, the world is your oyster. Because let's face it, the more people that succeed in wrestling, the better off we all are.
I want to give props to Noni, our friend from Australia, who always tunes in. She has my favorite comment of the night, that Joe Alonzo is 3 seconds away from booking himself in for a tattoo that reads alpha male.
Props
to Noni for that one. That was good. Aaron, you've been more than generous with your time and
talent.
And talent. So we don't want to hold you up anymore. We've actually only got like 2 other things to do, so we can wrap it up and let you go if you want. And
it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Thank you to everyone in the chat. It was wonderful meeting your dog, Mr. Deals. I hope to see you very soon. Kyle, please remember what I said. Gary, thanks for setting this up. Joe, you're the cornerstone of the show, and I hope to see you soon. And thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Aaron. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
In Chicago, brother. Bye.
All right, Aron Stevens. How was that? That was a heck of a lesson there with Aron Stevens. I like that.
It's always good to have Aron Stevens around. Big fan. Big fan.
He was your shrink for a little bit.
Name.
I mean, everybody who knows me has to be my shrink for a little bit. My apologies.
Well, maybe this will help you with your therapy. It's time for story time with Rush.
Oh, shit. We're doing this now?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Story Time with Rush. Today I wanted to talk to you about the month of September. See, month of September is a lot. I had 9/11. My daughter's birthday is September 19th. A good friend of mine from college is also September 19th. And September is also Suicide Awareness Month. And just to bring Story Time with Rush to a little more serious note, bullying. Bullying sucks. I was bullied all of elementary, middle school, some high school. Nowadays, as an adult, I'm the guy that gets roasted all the time in the comment section, everywhere. So I want to tell you about my 8th grade year. My 8th grade was rough. I told a story a couple months ago that I was skipping school to stay home and watch Family Matters. And when I ended up going back to school, I had to leave because I messed up. I'd skipped too many days. And whatnot. But anyway, I switched schools and I went to another school. This school was terrible. I got made fun of constantly for being of Hispanic descent. Rolando, he's also of Hispanic descent. But these closed-minded people, they just thought it was something to tease us about. So anyway, I had a really rough 8th grade year. I remember one kid pissed me off so bad, calling me derogatory terms, that I threw milk in his face. Don't bully people. It messes with people. It's Suicide Awareness Month. Let's be nice to people. And for all those people that did bully me, you may have made me who I am today. You may have made me better, because I am the most spectacular wrestler in all of professional wrestling, in the NWA, on the independent scene. Everywhere I go, I try to be spectacular. So what bullying did for me may have helped mold me into somebody who can let something roll off my shoulder or just make me a better person in general. But I do not condone bullying, and I don't think you should either. And I do not think we should have the fixers in the NWA, because they are the biggest bullies and they are the worst. So with that being said, Kyle Davis, Joe Galley, we need to get rid of the fixers. They're the worst. They're so terrible. They're the worst human beings, and I hate them so much. Especially Wrecking Ball. He's the absolute worst. You see him choking me during that battle royal. I hate these guys. So the month of September, no bullying, no bad stuff. We're going to start clean. Let's get rid of the fixers and make NWA better.
We're gonna jump all night. We're gonna run all the way. So baby, turn it up when I feel that rush. Yeah.
I'm crying.
I feel bad now. I feel like I've been.
I have the bends from that conversation. Because we were all up here of like, oh, let's talk about the horribleness, and then just dives down into nothingness and comes back and then dives back down. There was no through line with that story that kept it together.
I like that Amy Berryman in the chat says, y'all be nice to Rush this month.
Yeah, this month.
There's supposed to be a comma there.
No, I got to deal with Rush for another 19 days, and then I'm going to be back to being a dick to him. But until then, I am sorry I've been bullying Rush Freeman. Story time with Rush.
What the fuck was that?
What happened?
It went from like anti-bullying to bullying is what made me who I am today.
So like, maybe then he bullied the fixers,
which no one should ever want to be. Jesus.
I mean, he started with his like September has a lot of ups and downs. 9/11, my so-and-so's birthday. But let's talk about bullying.
2 birthdays back to back. What the hell? Do you not watch these, Gary?
I really think you just go, whatever Rush is going to say, let's put it out there, which is fair. Hold on. It's fair because I also say whatever the hell I'm thinking at any given time on this program, so I don't want to say other people aren't allowed to.
At least there's that understanding. I assume it can't be worse than anything else we've said so far in the show.
Man, this is live, theoretically, and that was pre-tape. So, like, when I say some weird shit, you're like, oh, it happened. I couldn't stop him. You could have looked at Rush and been like, should I rush to put this up? See what I did there?
It's not theoretically live. It is. See, you look at the top.
I've heard from people that they love the segment. It made me cry laughing just now.
Basically, Rush Freeman said the fixers bullying is as bad as 9/11.
I'll tell you something else that I don't have here that he wanted me to put up, and I don't even know how to really do it. He's going to post it, I think, on social. He legitimately has a petition to get rid of the fixers.
Yeah, he just did it.
So my question is, was he really bullied, or is he just claiming to have been bullied so he could get rid of the fixers? Was it just a segue to get into what he wanted to happen? Is Rush Freeman the most diabolically brilliant individual in the National Wrestling Alliance? I'm sorry, I got distracted because I was talking about my bag of chips.
I don't know, but if he's coming to Cleveland, it's the most brutal pay-per-view we've ever had. He might not survive. So. Doritos.
Kyle's
Ranch Doritos.
Cool all right.
Doritos.
We're already running over. God bless you all for staying with us. We got a moment of Sal palate cleanser.
I watched the world float to the dark side of the moon. After all this time, I somehow knew it'd lead to you. I really don't mind what happens now and then, as long as you'll be my friend in the end. if I go crazy, then would you still call me?
A, my friend's insane. A, Metropolis is a cool place to stop by if you like superheroes. Also, these original season pretzels are delicious. And do you know what happened while that was going on? I got a text from Rush Freeman. Rush Freeman sent me literally the petition to get rid of the fixers. Wrecking Ball Legursky, Jay Bradley, Matt Vine, and that guy with the mask, organized by Rush Freeman. He literally wants them gone, ladies and gentlemen. Don't sign this. Unless
it was Metropolis, Illinois, for everybody asking.
I'm sure Wrecking Ball will make a similar petition
about getting rid of Rush. I was just going to say that.
There should be a lot of paperwork filed in crayon, but we'll see it.
As long as it's notarized.
Yeah, exactly. You got to get it notarized.
Maybe one episode of this, we'll just get both of them in the same room.
Silvio,
like
notary.
Silvio, yeah, Chris Silvio. And also a very big leather kink now, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not one to shame.
Whatever floats your boat, brother.
Hey, when my lawyer starts wearing leather pants and a riding crop, all I can say is he's going to get some results.
I filmed a promo for them backstage. There was a whip and everything involved.
I'm sorry.
It was interesting. It was interesting.
You can file your complaint with Human Resources.
Yeah.
which is me and Kyle.
I was about to say, isn't that you? I don't
know. Tell Joe.
Isn't this me filing my complaint with Human Resources?
I need. Can you? I'm going to sell the same thing when the talent sends me receipts. Email it to me. Don't text it to me.
Joe,
I'll forget about it.
As always, I'm sorry to hear that. Have you tried just forgetting about it? That's usually the
take a long hot shower.
The purple sports coat is in my closet right now, along with this is how I know we've been doing this so long, Joe. I literally have a rainbow of sports coats now for every year of NWA programming.
Nani's on fire.
Like, do you put them in like a giant frame or something, or is that ridiculous? I don't know.
I haven't even framed all the stuff from our tours yet. I'm very behind.
We got purple, and now we got red. Do we have another color?
Next year, I want to go for this mint green. We can
do a mint green like we won the Masters.
Matt Cardona had a beautiful mint green though suit on. Yeah, last time I saw him, it was money.
Yeah, Danny Deals will get one.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that, Danny
Deals.
A jacket.
The commentary team, the sports coat.
Right.
Where's it at? It's next year. after 76.
There you go. All right. Well,
let's do the 75 patch until then.
We've gone way over. There's still a lot of people in the chat. Thank you for being here. Thanks for sticking through all that. This was a great time with Aron Stevens. This was a fun episode. I hope you guys will be here next week. We don't know who the guest will be, but drop us something on social media who you want to see. Whatever. We'll get whoever. We got. This is the management team down here. They can
tweet us. Listen, if people start realizing Joe and I have things that we do that don't involve this, they're going to think that we're either doing a great job or failing. So don't bring that up.
Have Odinson on. That is a weird one to think about because Odinson is a scary man to talk
Can he send us all the spray so we all spray at the same time?
Yes.
Good idea.
I would love to get my hands on some of that spray because it looks like it gets results.
Or you can just get some of that old right guard.
Oh, yeah, that'll be good.
I'd be like, I'd call Samantha over and then I'd spray it and then I'd be like, let's party like a Viking. And then who knows what kind of energy I'd have.
And then you die. And then
I do like this one. Caps has it. James Mitchell. That would be that's a good idea.
As somebody who's had conversation with James Mitchell, I don't know if I could trust that it would. We could air most of it here.
That ain't a PG. That's an after dark.
You know what? I don't care. I think we should do it.
James Mitchell, wild, but it could be fun.
Did I tell you guys that I just bought a gun? You'd be like, oh God, what's James going to talk about now?
I think if we
could have Sal on.
If we do Jimmy Mitchell, I feel like not only does that have to be late, but I mean we should do it on location somewhere. You know?
Oh, yes.
Or something.
Maybe in Cleveland it'll be a special midnight episode because brother will say whatever.
But Cleveland is going to be on a Saturday. This airs on a Monday. That's a lot of time.
Record it, and then if there's something on there,
we'll get some clips. We can put it on.
Yeah, I'm going to Cleveland.
Oh my God!
I'm excited about Samhain on October the 28th. Right. NWATix.com. If you haven't already gone there, that show is going to be insane. You don't even know the matches yet, and I can tell you it's insane. We're going to be finding out a lot more about that over the next few weeks.
That's true. And also, at some point, we'll probably release tickets for an event on the November 4th that'll be happening in Nashville, Tennessee. So keep your eye on that.
Spoiler. I didn't get an email about that.
Max only they have like single line things that they say, and it's
the problem with Max is that a lot of Max's reactions and instinct is based off of scent. Also, so if Max can't smell us, they get confused and dangerous. And we don't want that.
They're in Japan, like for a lot. Yeah, so that's the problem. They're in Japan. The time difference is a lot. It'll never work out.
When are we coming back to New Orleans? That's a great question. All right, so moving on.
Yeah.
Well,
I had to bite my tongue.
I have tried with Markova. Markova is very busy. Anyway, all right, we got to get out of here. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We appreciate you all for sticking around. We're going to take one of these suggestions and make a new show next week. Till then, please